got 3 people on. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Jitri. Hey, Dave and Deb. Good to see y'all. Hello.
Jim, what's happening, brother?
So we'll be starting here in a few minutes. Dave's playing a song, and then we'll get started. All right, welcome everybody. Hi. We are set up in the same location we were
For the last 2 weeks.
Well, I'm referring to the video we shot. We were talking about how we were preparing for the hurricane. You can see half my face.
Yeah.
And so the neighbor's house across the street is dark.
Yeah.
They've not reset up their outside decorations and lighting.
No.
And that was all lit up when
was
we
all lit
were last recorded in this spot,
Yeah.
talking about the hurricane and preparing for it. So, big burning question is, why do people stay when there is a hurricane?
I'll play background music on you.
And so there are several reasons why people stay. And not in any particular order, not saying any reason is more important than another reason. It's just that this is the, now that we live here, now we understand better why people stay during a hurricane. When we lived up north, we were like, why would you stay? You know it's coming. The news is forecasting it. Get the heck out of there. And now that we live down here, we really understand why people stay. And after our second hurricane in 5 years, we've learned a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We've learned a lot about survival, hurricanes, and community coming together and helping each other. And, okay, so one of the reasons why people stay is they have, oh, wow.
The party golf carts.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night. They're
It's
ready.
Friday
man.
night. The partiers are out, and we're in a
Educators Music T-shirt.
we're in a 55+ community. Nobody gets. Everybody's young here.
Yep.
55+ young. So, all right. Reasons why people stay during a hurricane. For some folks, this is the only place they have. So glad you're okay. Yeah,
Jim,
thanks,
thank you so
Jim.
much, brother. Really appreciate it, man. And
This is all. This nobody or people don't have anywhere else to go. This is the only place they have. Some people have no family and no children, and so they need to stay here. There are people who cannot afford to leave because it requires gas to leave. It requires money for a hotel if they don't have some place to go and stay with somebody. One of the biggest reasons I've learned why people stay is they will not leave their pets. Will not.
Nope.
People who have horses, cows,
Yeah.
cows. People will not leave their cows.
They'll have livestock. They'll have a
They're,
farm. ranch.
yeah, they've got a ranch, they have farm. These people absolutely will not leave Sarah, hey y'all, I'm driving, but glad you are safe. Thank you.
Thank you so
Sarah.
much, guys. And I want to thank everyone that reached out to us and helped us. And God bless you guys. We love you all.
And so then the aftermath of after the hurricane, people who evacuate trying to get back here is difficult. And because the gas and getting out is the same reason. The gas stations, they run out of gas.
Yeah.
And their trucks are not coming down to fill them up because the hurricane's coming.
And yeah.
So that's another reason why people stay. There's not enough gas to get out
Yeah.
of the state.
And how fast both major expressways back up. Just like when people go into Miami, they were going south on 75. Remember how fast it backed
We
up?
have two highways, two major highways in Florida. 75 on our side, southwest side, or the west side, and then 95 on the east coast side. Pretty much two major highways that go through Florida. And to evacuate millions of people is just, it would probably require weeks in advance of the hurricane actually being here to get people out, as the gas companies gas trucks can come down here and refill the gas stations.
Yeah, I mean, you would not believe how fast the gas stations will run out of gas.
It's incredible.
It's
and
mind
because
blowing.
people are just not filling up their cars, they're filling up gas cans.
Yeah.
And we've seen people with 5, 6, 10 gas cans lined up.
Remember last time during
filling
Hurricane
them
Irma?
up.
They would fill up even old paint buckets.
And so
mean,
that chews
yeah.
up the gas a lot faster as well. And then talking about after the hurricane, trying to get back down here, the not knowing, did my
Yeah.
house survive?
Yeah.
The amount of looting that happens after the hurricane, that even if a person's house is standing, people break in because they are walking around and finding out who's here and whose homes are vacant, and going in, and there's no power, so there's no lights on.
Yeah.
It's very dark. And
It gets
we
dangerous.
even have had looting in our community after this hurricane, and we're all here, and we're running generators, and we've got lights on in our house. Now, nothing happened to our house because we're here, and we kept light on all night.
We had like little battery
And-
puck lights.
Yeah,
so you
we've
could
got
see.
battery puck
We kept
lights
those on, and we were
underneath.
just able to, for a little electric, we were powering our electric generator from the gas generator so we could run that all night.
Hi,
so we didn't
y'all.
have to
Hey,
fan.
Surf Prophet. Hey.
Hey, Yatsa!
Yeah.
Venom, thanks. What's happening, brother?
Our screen is froze,
I think
but
we're screwed.
I see the timer is still ticking, so that means you guys can still hear us.
Yeah, they're still
So-
working on our internet connection. We saw Verizon working on one of the towers. That's why it's still very spotty. We're using Deb's phone because I still cannot get
There
on.
we are. We're back
Yeah.
now. Okay. Yes. Just got finished playing poker.
All
I hope
right,
you
brother. I
won.
hope you won, man.
I hope you won.
We thank you so much, man.
And I do want to give a shout out to everybody who did donate to our PayPal account. We have refunded everyone's money.
Yeah,
Randy,
thank
hello.
Randy Tripp, what's happening,
Great to
brother?
see you all. Yes, we have refunded everyone's money. We appreciate
We definitely
you thinking about us in our time of uncertainty, because we did not know if we were going to get any paychecks from our job, and by the grace of God, we work for good companies outside of the music, and Dave got paid for all of his time off from the hurricane. He got his check yesterday. Well, his pay came through our checking account yesterday, and then mine came through this morning, and I seen where I was paid for the whole 2 weeks that I was not at work, and so we're getting back on track. I went back to work this week. Dave went back. He did his dry run. He can explain all that to you.
Yeah,
Great
also
to see you guys. Yeah.
thank you so
Started
so
with 20,000 play money. Finished with 250,000.
That's great. Too bad it was a real money, man. Good for you. But yeah,
when when the winnings are big and it's play money, that's when we wish it was real money.
that's when it was real money, absolutely. But yeah, we thank everyone for that
Cool,
sent
that also.
donations to PayPal. And the reason why we did refund is because we really didn't need it, and we figure, okay, if you guys should need that money at this time more than we need it now, then we don't like taking advantage of people. That's not our style.
And we
but-
all need our money. You guys need your money
Exactly.
just as much as
and,
we
and,
need
and
our
if
money.
we would have used it, I guarantee we would have paid it back. I guarantee, because we just, we understand. But it was just so polite and so nice of you. I mean, that's, thank you. And for those who maybe they couldn't financially do it, just your thoughts and prayers meant a lot, because
So the
was
money
tough.
did go towards the purchase of the generator. I put that up on Facebook, thanking everybody
wow,
who
yeah.
donated, that the money was well spent and getting us a generator. And then again, we got our checks this week. We were paid for the time off from the hurricane, paid in full every single day. So technically, our paychecks, we did not miss any income
Yeah.
due to the hurricane. So that was the green light. Boom, get everybody paid back right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Laying here trying to heal up.
Oh yeah, Randy.
Randy, about it, bro. Just glad to finally be home. Oh,
Thank
yeah.
God, brother.
Yeah, glad you're home, Randy. Yeah, definitely chill and heal up, buddy, for sure, for sure.
That had to hurt.
So do you have questions for us about why people stay? And I think I kind of like rattled through them pretty quickly. The expense to leave, it is expensive to evacuate with gas,
Yeah.
and then making sure there is enough gas to get out
And
of the
you know what?
state. When not Ian,
Irma.
when Irma hit in 2017, people were last minute leaving the state, and when they got to Georgia was out of gas.
Yeah.
And all of the hotels were sold out too.
Mhm.
So now people are stuck with no gas and no hotels. Randy, gonna be a long road to recovery, but I'll be rocking all the way. Yeah, you will,
Yeah,
buddy.
you will, brother.
Yes, you will.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you'll be doing a lot of picking.
And then during this
You already doing a lot of
hurricane,
picking.
as the news was showing how the hurricane is shifting
Oh.
and moving more towards our direction. Now, initially, this was supposed to go up to Tampa.
Yeah.
We were not going to see the eye. We were going to see about 40-mile-an-hour winds, which is doable. Our house is doable,
Right.
40-mile-an-hour winds. But then that dang thing kept moving more towards us.
And it was a slow moving,
then,
so it lasted hours.
at that point, it became more dangerous to get on the road to try to get over to the Miami
Oh.
side, because now people are jammed up. We see
Yep.
on the news the cams of Alligator Alley, the video cam footage, where the traffic is just bumper to bumper on 75, and the outer band winds of the hurricane were creating tornadoes through Alligator Alley because there's so much open space down there that people are now getting caught in the tornadoes, and that was just like, oh my God, it became a point where it was safer
to stay than-
safer to hunker down
Mm-hmm.
and pray we'll be okay. So, Randy, I done a lot of picking in the hospital and rehab, had a elderly fan club at rehab.
man. That's
they were
awesome.
loving it. Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
bet they were, man.
That's
I bet they were.
fantastic. So then I put out our newsletter this morning. So those of you who are on our newsletter email sign up right from our website, DaveByronMusic.com, right on the homepage. You can sign up for our email. I sent out an email and put in a brief story about the experience we had with the
Oh, man.
hurricane. And then great news, everybody, we've got our first show tomorrow. Our first
Yep.
show after the hurricane will be at Seacraft. We haven't been there in months, so it's going to be it's a really good feeling
I
to
was
go
so
back.
glad that they were able to
and
reopen.
and everybody who's seen our YouTube video about Marina Town, the destruction through there, and Seacraft is the only restaurant in that strip that is open. So we went and spoke with the owner after we shot that video, and she was like, yeah, she wants us back. And so I reached out to her actually this morning and asked her if she'd like us back tomorrow. Now it is a pro bono show because everybody is recovering. We are now
Oh.
in recovery
Yeah.
mode down here, and they lost like all the restaurants,
Lost so
thousands
much.
and thousands of dollars
And
of food. And so there's just isn't pay right now for the musicians.
And I wouldn't expect it either.
So
I really,
no, because we know everybody is
We're all
struggling
in the same
and
boat.
recovering right now. So our tomorrow show will be pro bono, and we will play from 1 to 4 Eastern Standard Time at Marina Town.
and so far that we're streamlined, so that might be streamlined.
Yeah, I'm
so.
getting a live connection tonight here at the house, so
now there-
hopefully we'll be
there
okay
is-
tomorrow.
Yeah, there is something I want to say about evacuation. This is very, very important. A lot of people will say, okay, maybe I get out of Dodge, or hunker down, get out of Dodge, okay? And the hurricane comes through, and people are already on the road. And this is what happened, I think on Tamiami Trail, going up north. What you don't realize is sometimes, the roads, first of all, we cross a lot of bridges. And a lot of times those bridges dip down. Well, so do the roads. So as it dips down, that's where the surge takes place. And a lot of these cars and semi-trucks, they were stuck right in the middle of the road. They couldn't go anywhere because they were just completely stuck. For how many hours, who knows?
That's a good point about the bridges. When the winds get, I forgot if it's 40-mile-an-hour winds, 45-mile-an-hour winds, the bridges close. So to go north, to get out of the state of Florida, we got bridges we have to go over
Yeah.
because we're a bunch of islands down
Mhm.
here in Southwest Florida before we hit the mainland of Florida. So once those bridges close, the only other escape route is through Alligator Alley over to the Miami side. So that's why there was such a backup
Yeah.
on 75 the night before Eon hit, is because the bridges had already been closed. And when I worked at Camping World on Tuesday, and we closed at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, that was the day before the hurricane actually hit, and we were told you got to leave and get home now because the bridges are going to be closed, and I have to travel over a bridge to get back here
Yep.
from Camping World. So that was a good point that Dave brought up about the bridges. I forgot about that. Yes,
And-
that's
and-
another reason why it's difficult to evacuate, because the bridges do get shut down, and you can't
leave.
you can't
and
travel on them.
You can't
then.
travel, and at 45 miles an hour, the emergency response team, they will not come out. They will not come out because they can't jeopardize themselves.
So
Um,
we were hunkering down here, and you guys saw the video where we have our solar power generator and
I've got a lot
everything.
of.
We had the porter potty. We were
Mhm.
prepared for lights out and to sustain ourselves until the hurricane passed. And then Wednesday morning, Mike Shanker Music, holding your friend's glass back from shattering, looks super dangerous. Did you ever think what would happen if it shatters super later? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get to that because
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of comments about that video, and I tell you what, guys, when you are in survival mode and you're thinking
What you would do.
what
if-
you got to do
what you
at
gotta
the
do is-
moment,
yeah.
it doesn't always looking at the video, not being here and not knowing exactly 100% our situation at the time, appears that, wow, that was really a dumb thing to do, to be holding those windows. Now, we were being there and actually experiencing it we did what we felt was the right thing to do, and that's why it looked worse, and but to us, we could feel
Oh, we could feel
the
it already.
pressure of the glass coming in and us pushing back on the glass. We also had the doors cracked to release pressure too from building up between the inside and the outside of the house. So we did not feel we were in imminent danger by holding the glass
There
back.
was only one time when I felt a very strong wind gust. When you and Dorothy went back into the little office room, and I was by myself, and then that gust came, I think that was the most. If anything was going to happen, it would have been right then and there, because that's how strong that wind gust came. And I've never felt anything that strong in my life.
We had no idea that Dorothy didn't have the hurricane shutters for her sliding glass doors. Until, when we got there,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's all she had. She boarded up. She got her windows covered with the hurricane shutters she had. She lives alone. She's by herself, and her income is supporting that house on what she can do with what
Yeah.
she had to work with. And then when we got there, this is it. We're working with this, and we felt what we did was the right thing to do, regardless of what it appears on the outside looking in. What we did. Would we do it again? Absolutely. I'd do it again if we walked into her house and there were no shutters on that glass. Absolutely, I'd be holding back that
What
that
was a
glass.
saving grace was also her lanai, and I just was a lot of prayers, a lot of very strong faith, my friends. And when you're in that situation, you're it's out of your hands. It really is. And,
Yeah.
and again, like Deb
So-
said, what you would plan on doing and what you would actually do as it actually happens.
Right.
Trust me, it is two
Yeah.
different things. It really is.
Yeah. And living down here and knowing it, when we were living up north,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
we-
if I saw a video like that, I would be thinking,
I'd be
that
the same-
is
exactly.
so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Get
I'm not
the
faulting
hell
anybody.
away
Yeah.
from those
Yeah, and
windows.
that's what they always say.
But right on, you guys right. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
brother.
and we got pets in there too. The Soleil, her dog was there. The
Mhm.
3 cats were there, and Dave was, when he talked about when Dorothy and I left, and he was holding up the windows by himself. That's because the window in the cat's room that broke.
Yeah, there was a bottom part
There
that wasn't
was
protected.
the window broke in that room, and the cats are in there, and I'm thinking, oh my
Flying
God,
glass.
they are gonna jump out that window,
Yep.
and we're gonna lose all the cats in a friggin' hurricane. And so that's when Dorothy and I ran into that room, and we saw the busted glass on the floor, the rain's coming in, the wind is just howling through there, and we're like, oh man. So we grabbed what we could, and that at that time was a comforter. We took a comforter and we stuffed it in the broken glass area. Enjoyed watching your live videos with Legend Man. You really rock. Hey, thank you, sir.
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And that's what, and her desk wedged up against between the window and the comforter stuffed in there, and her desk to keep the rain out and keep the cats in. And it was.
And what Deb did also,
you just do
she
what you
took
gotta
my
do at the
2 Boss
time.
pedal boards,
Oh yeah.
emptied my pedals,
That's
and
what-
used those as barriers,
Yes.
and they worked. And now I got my pedals back in the pedal board. Nothing happened to
Yes,
those
yeah,
pedals.
and it's just you just
Just-
gotta think.
You think
it's
so
split
fast, man. It's
moment
oh.
thinking whether it's right, whether it's wrong.
And
We
you-
did and it worked. We did what we felt
And you
we
know
could,
what? Mhm.
and
You-
it worked. So Dave's right. Yes, I did grab his pedal cases,
Mhm.
and I took all of his pedals out, reclosed the cases, and used those also to wedge between Dorothy's desk,
Yep.
her comforter, and the broken glass
broken-
window,
yeah.
broken window, to hold that comforter in place. And yeah, that worked.
That definitely worked. Here's the
It
thing.
worked.
Things happen so fast. You don't have time to think if you're afraid or not. You just
That's
You
true.
just you're going as it's happening.
That's true.
And I did
we,
record.
we know it's dangerous.
We know it's dangerous, but you
We
don't have
get
time to
it.
even think about it. You know, and I've got it
But-
where I was recording on the Zoom camera, and we will definitely be editing that.
It's
as it
where
was happening.
that fight or flight kicks in.
Oh,
It's
big
either
time.
fight and hold those windows, hold those glass doors against that wind, or run. But
Where are you gonna go?
where are you gonna run?
You go
Where
to
you gonna
another
run?
room. Yeah, you can.
Where the hell you go to another room? Yeah,
But
but
see-
that I don't know. It wasn't in us to run from the windows. It was
Right.
in us
To
to
kind of protect it. And
like
this is
many
my
people.
friend's house, too.
You know, a house is on fire, and you hear people running in there to grab people because they're in there and they're trying to save a life, even a pet. A
Right.
dog, a cat is in there. Oh my God, they run in there and they risk their lives. And there's,
You
still
don't even
people
think
that
about
will
it.
say,
Yeah.
wow, that was so stupid. You could have died. But hey, they saved a pet.
Or a loved one.
Or
or
a
something.
loved
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
And we felt the same way by bracing those windows. And that was a long 7
Oh
hours.
my God, it was
We
long.
were
Oh.
exhausted, physically and mentally. After
We kept looking at my watch,
after that.
and it was like maybe 10 minutes would go by, and it felt like it was 10 hours. I mean, it was
But it's
unreal. But
and it was quite the experience.
Mhm.
Never ever have we been obviously in the eye of a hurricane. And
Well, here's the
this was the
Yeah.
largest storm in recorded history to ever hit Fort Myers and Cape Coral.
yeah.
Ever.
Now here's the strange thing: the actual eye is where it's calm. And then remember, Deb,
The center of the
the
eye.
center
is
of the eye.
calm.
The center of the eye is calm.
There's 4 quadrants to the
Yeah.
hurricane. So the right
Mhm.
quadrant was like 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants 2 and 4 on the right side. The wind is blowing in one direction.
And then yeah.
Okay. And now, of course, in the middle of the eye, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. So it's
There's
calm.
nothing. Oh, sir's been through many hurricanes. Okay, you get it.
You get yeah.
it.
You know what's
So
happening.
then, when the middle of the eye is passing over, it's very calm.
It's
There's
very
no
calm.
rain.
No rain. No.
There's
no,
very little wind, if any.
Yeah, if any.
It was the weirdest thing.
But then you knew the second part was
And
coming.
then the sky brightens.
Yep.
Now we didn't have a complete like sunshine,
But the sky
the
did get
sky
bright.
did
It
brighten up.
Yeah.
We noticed that, and then the back end of the quadrant. Now the wind is in the opposite direction,
And that's where it's worse.
and that's called
Because-
the dirty side of the
Yes,
hurricane.
because reason
and
being.
that's where the trees really start snapping because
Yeah.
they're blowing, say, to the right, and on the front end of the quadrant, and then on the back end, the wind blows them in the other direction. So they weaken this way. So by the time they're blown this way, everything starts snapping and falling off. It was insane,
Mm-hmm. It was insane.
crazy.
What
the
makes-
roar of a hurricane is scary as
Oh, it's very scary. What makes the second part worse is because it'll pick up the debris from the first part, and then it'll blow it back
Bobby,
with
click
more,
her low.
with more debris.
Yep.
And now that's I think really where a lot of your intense destruction comes. And if anyone gets on YouTube, just look at the aftermath of Fort Myers Beach. Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach is completely like almost Lani Kai is like the hotel. That's kind of up. But and if you see this video of a house, it's a red house that is right behind Lani Kai, and it starts shifting and moving and moving. As it was moving, there was 2 people and 2 dogs in that house, and we just saw an interview with them on the news. And the guy said his wife or his girlfriend and the 2 dogs got out, and as just before the video ended, he was inside that house. The water was shoving him up against the attic part while he was trying to push himself down to get out of one of the open windows.
Yeah, Sir said he saw that video.
Yeah, and it was so incredible to hear this guy's story because he says after he finally got out, I forget exactly what part of town he was at, but he's like across the street, and he's like waiting for 3 or 4 hours to hear anything from his girlfriend, not realizing that his girlfriend and the 2 dogs, they put like life vests on the dogs, and he had to push the one dog down to get the dog to go underwater, to get out of the window, to come back up. Well, what he didn't realize is as he's waiting 3 to 4 hours to find out word about them, they're stuck in a tree. They were saved by hanging on to a tree, just riding this thing out. And I'm gonna tell you what, we felt those winds. It was like 155 miles an hour. And when
Yeah, some of the winds were clocked at 202.
yeah, and I tell you what, when Deb went in that room and I felt that wind gust hit me like that, I was like, holy
Crazy,
crap!
yeah.
It was. I never felt anything like that in my life. So, excuse me, I could just imagine these people that did survive, that were out there, hanging on to something for dear life. I mean, just I couldn't imagine. I couldn't
And
imagine.
talking to everybody, well, mostly everybody that we spoke to, all have said the same thing. They never thought the storm was going to be that bad,
Yeah.
this bad.
Yeah.
That's a consensus. That's a common across everybody is we didn't think it would be this bad. So now when I got up Wednesday morning, the morning of the hurricane, and it was 5 a.m. and I put the news on, and the news guy said that, hey, the hurricane is shifted again, the eye is coming right to us. That
And it
I'm
was
like,
picking up power.
boy, oh boy, no, we're we're out of here. We're
And
out
Deb
of this
said
house.
she heard the wind
So
howling.
yeah, when we went to sleep that night at was it like 10 or 11 or something like that, I could hear the wind howling outside
Getting
and
stronger.
the rain hitting the house, and I'm thinking to myself, this is still the outer bands. Wait till the eye gets here.
This is a manufactured
and
home.
those wind gusts, So then, of course, then in the morning, heard that on the news, the weather, jumped in the shower, started texting Dave's friend in Cape Coral, found out that her roommate went up to Fort Lauderdale. She's got the extra room. So then we're talking on the phone, and she's like, get over here now. Get over here. Get out of that manufactured house and get over here. Got Dave up, took the babe, take your last shower. Take your last shower because we're out of here.
Grab the cats.
Grab the kids, and of course,
Yeah.
everything in that car, about 90% of what's in the car is related to the cats. So
Yep.
you got 2 big cages, 2 big litter boxes, their food, which we had to go back for. You see on the video, I forgot the food. And then on our way back to Dorothy's, by picking up the food, Dave's asking me if I brought any money, any cash. I'm like, I didn't bring cash. I'm not going back for
There's a
cash. You
reason
can
for
hear
that,
the
I
stress
asked,
in my
yeah.
voice. Like, I'm not going back for cash. But
Because
we
it's the
sure hell went
afterwards.
back for cat food,
Right.
but not for friggin' money.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people's mindset down here. It's, the pets come first.
Pets come first, yeah.
It's,
Exactly.
It's unexplainable. It's just the love we
Yeah.
have for
Now,
our animals.
our neighbors down the road, they stayed, and we were texting,
Yeah.
and they were saying when we got back here, what his wife said was that all you heard, and the wind was howling badly at Dorothy's house, so I could imagine here. She said it was like nothing she ever heard in her life, and the sound of sheet metal, but like 7 hours minus the eye of the storm, but center of the storm, but for 7 hours, all you heard was crashing and banging and crashing and banging, and she said she felt the house shaking and crashing and banging, and it's just horrible. So when we got back the next day, and I got this all recorded on the Zoom camera, my heart was just racing because we did not know what we were going to be facing as our house left, what's going on. As soon as we pulled up, Kirk and Lisa said, you guys had a roof over? I said, yeah, that's gone. So right away, Deb says, floored it, got here, and we saw the destruction. Thank God it was nothing. It was bad, but not as bad as we thought. So the first thing we did, got in the house, looked at the ceiling, and then we opened up all the cabinets and the closets because it's on the outer perimeter of the house, and took our flashlight from the phone, shined it to make sure there was no wet spots because now you got water damage,
Yeah.
which is
So
bad
then
enough.
when we get to Dorothy's house, and you guys saw that video of us traveling over there, the wind blowing, the debris blowing into the street, the rain, it all happening.
Yeah.
And so we got to Dorothy's before 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 1 o'clock that afternoon, that's when the eye hit. And then you see us holding, and we did a couple of videos as the storm's getting stronger, the rain was getting harder, and
Then we
Dave
lost
and
the power.
Dorothy are putting a strap over her
Yeah.
shed to keep that roof on,
Mhm.
and yeah, then the power went out at about 1 o'clock. We lost electricity, but the weirdest thing is we could still get on Facebook the whole time. We could get. I couldn't
She
get
got
on.
my phone's
I couldn't get on
completely like.
YouTube. I couldn't
I
do
thought I was
any
cut off
more
from the
live
world, man.
streams on YouTube. But
Yep.
for some odd reason, we could get on Facebook. We could get on Facebook and we could send text messages. And I was texting, glad y'all made it okay. Yeah. I was
It was a scary
texting
feeling,
the
man.
neighbors down the street. And I think I sent him a message at like 12 o'clock and asked, how are you doing? And he said, bored, we're eating lunch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Until
and
when
that-
it really
that
got
what I
bad.
had told I was messaging him earlier that morning, like 9, I think I started, asking him how they are and let him know that, hey, we're in the Cape now, and he called me a chicken. A chicken, you're not staying in your house. Like, hell no, I'm not staying in the house. Call me chicken all you
Call
want.
me
I'm
chicken
out
all
of
you
here.
want, man.
We are not staying in that
I'd rather
house.
be a live chicken.
So we've got a cat now, cat 5, and the eye hitting right at us, like, oh, hell no, we're not staying. So then, with the experience of folding up the glass windows, the window breaking in the room where the cats were, about 10 o'clock, we got to finally lay down and
It was
get some
exhausting.
sleep. And even during the hurricane, we break away from the windows a little bit and look out the front, and we could just see debris blowing
Just
down
blowing,
the street.
man.
And
Trees
the
like
tree,
this,
a
going
neighbor
like this.
across the street, their tree fell
Yeah.
on top of the roof of the house next to them. Was the big windows at your sister's glass? No, it's David's friend
My
from high
friend
school.
from high school, Dorothy.
They went to high school at
Yeah.
Dorothy. She moved down here, I think, in the 90s.
Yeah,
or
96,
something?
I think she came
Yeah,
down
she's
here.
been here since then.
And
and-
she's by herself, just for her to
Yeah,
offer. I'm
she's just
like, oh man, we
The
can't.
next town, we're like 20 minutes from us, 25 minutes.
Now, here's the thing. You have storm surges, which is the flooding, and then you got the wind gusts. We got a lot of the wind gusts, but there are parts of Cape Coral, and that's where we were at when you saw the video of us holding the glass. South part of Cape Coral got a lot of storm surge, flooding, and so was the north part of Cape Coral.
Yeah, it was really
It
strange.
was very, but we
was
did
like all
remember
just
seeing
around us.
the canals, the water rising, like, oh
Yeah.
boy, man, we better.
Yeah, that was in our video.
Yeah.
That the canal we could see along Del Prado was really full.
Yeah.
It was really getting to the top,
Like, holy
almost
crap.
breaching.
Yeah. Now,
The
here's
seawall.
something real quick, if I could chime in on this. This today, the days are like blended, guys, so I apologize.
Water currents, temps, and pressure. Yeah.
But yeah, and then the water's contaminated too on top of it, so we gotta be very
Hadley,
careful.
hello.
Hadley, what's happening, brother? So my neighbor down there, she's telling me the story that she heard through her friends that there was a group of people on Fort Myers Beach decided to stay over at, Hooters. They got drunk, they're staying there trying to ride it out, and they all drowned. They all drowned. So I think in total, as of right now, there was 102 fatalities, and then most of them is in Lee County, 53 of them and that's the county we live in, Lee County. So I mean, it's just.
Yeah,
man.
there obviously is tragedy and deaths
And
here
here's the funny thing.
from drowning.
We
People
feel.
having heart attacks
Oh yeah.
because they've lost
And then
their
remember we
homes
thought, some
and
people. And
no
there's another
money
thing
to
that you don't
rebuild.
think about. Some people get so depressed they commit suicide.
And
Remember we
those-
thought we
yeah,
heard that gunshot?
Yeah. One night we heard a gunshot over here, and the ambulance and whatnot is showing up in the community.
Yeah.
Don't know for sure, but
But it's something.
it happens.
It happens. It's something that I hope we never have to go through.
There were people out in the water at the beach when it was coming in. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There were.
Yes, there were.
Yeah, there
yes,
were.
there were.
Yep. Now the
Yes.
sad thing is
Depression
that.
leads to chaotic thought. Yes.
Oh, it does. It does.
Oh, that's why I'm so glad I'm back at work.
Oh yeah, and
Because
just trying to get
after
to some sort of
10
normalcy.
days with no
Yeah.
power.
10 days no power,
Oh.
and I still have no internet or no connection. I mean, I could get on YouTube. It's very sporadically.
And no
Everything's
AC.
text. I can't even send I could send a text, It gets sent. It's slow. I can't take a picture and send it because it just takes forever. But the thing is that this is very common, and we were all saying this. We feel very blessed and fortunate that we're okay and our house is okay. But now at the same time, we feel guilty because we know and we see the destruction of so many people that they've lost everything. Golf cart going by.
No, no, we don't have that feeling. No, the key is to stay
Yeah.
busy,
Stay busy.
and we're back at work, so we are.
Our mindset. You
We're,
got to.
yeah,
It's.
we're not.
You don't have time. I
we're
mean,
not idle.
as you
enough
reflect
to
on it, yeah,
let-
as you
let those
reflect on it, you
feelings
can
hit us.
feel it start to hit you. So immediately, you got to get busy. You got to get busy
Yeah.
because you can't believe what you
If
just.
this like I reached out to the owner from Seacraft today and said, hey,
Mhm.
we'll do a show tomorrow. Pro bono, no worries, don't worry about it. We just need to get out there. We need to get back to some
Get some-
normalcy. We got to start gigging.
My
our
regular
comedy-
gig on Saturdays, Yucatans, it's just gonna take a couple of months for them
Yeah,
to be
I
able to
reached
get
out
up.
to
Yeah.
I reached out to that
Corey.
gal who does the bookings there at Yucatan, and she told me we're texting back and forth. She's fine. We're fine. Yucatan's is still standing on Matlacha Island, and they're gonna open in about 2 months. 2 months they're gonna be open, remodeled, cleaned up.
Yeah.
So somewhere around Christmas we should be back. We should be back at that gig.
Our friend Paul sold Anchor Inn. He got out just in
And
time.
so now the
Before.
morning after the hurricane, we got up and walked outside to a war zone.
Oh.
The amount of destruction left us speechless.
It's
All
like
we
what
could
you
do
see in
is
the movies,
just
except you're living it.
walk around and in disbelief.
Yeah.
The amount of destruction was incredible. You said you happy to be working. That's the feeling I'm talking about. Remember that feeling. That's the correct path. If you recognize that feeling, you should always remember it. Yes.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly.
So then after we've walked through Dorothy's block and a couple houses over there, then immediately I'm thinking, oh my God, our house, is it, because
left of
I can't get through to the neighbors down the street because we have no internet and Messenger's not working and I don't have their personal phone numbers to text them. We're just communicating through Messenger. Keep those thoughts and overcome the less desired thoughts. Yep, absolutely, Hadley.
Yeah.
And so we left the cats with Dorothy, and Dave and I jumped in our car and we drove home, and we had a detour because there's trees down across the road. There's debris everywhere. We're zigzagging through, and we pulled up, like Dave said, we pulled up, and we met up with the neighbors. They were out front, and they actually thought that we had lost our roof, and
Yeah.
they were like, "We're so sorry, your roof came down the street," and I just hit the gas pedal and floored it down our street. And we got here, and we're looking at the house, and we're like, wait a minute, we have a roof.
Mhm.
And we grab our ladders, and we're getting up on the ladders, and we're looking at the roof, and we're like, we have a roof, and we're inside, like Dave said. We checked all the corners, everything, opened up the cabinets, put the flashlight in there. Dry. Everything is dry. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to tilt the camera up. Right there. Yeah, you can see our patchwork. Right
Yeah, right
there
there.
is where a projectile
Smashed it.
hit our roof, and we're pretty sure we believe it is an awning because there was a clip from an awning up
Mhm.
on the
Those
roof.
clamshell awnings like we have in our front.
It
They're
had
pretty heavy.
tore a big hole.
Yeah.
Our door, you can see our door is still jacked.
Mhm.
That wall was a little
Now this is outside to our lanai, so it's not to the
little
house.
more.
Thank God.
Yeah, this is a little night. This is exactly what Dave said. Even if it's wet, fans can dry it. Yeah, exactly.
But we
So
gotta be careful of that mold.
But right,
Oh,
right, the
yeah, man.
mold and shooting fans up to the ceiling. That's all. It's all.
Well, you're
Everything
right.
has its challenges,
Yeah,
right? When you're
you're definitely
low
right
on
there.
resources, stores are empty, stores are not open
Oh,
yet, all kinds of no power. It's a whole different. It had the experience. I think I made a comment today. That said, man, this is how cave people lived. Their life sucked. Oh my God! You can, there's no electric.
and
There's
for about a day and a half, we had no water, no running
trying to
water. I mean, it
trying how
was
you
like,
wash your clothes.
oh,
Play a little of that crazy cool flamenco stuff you do, Dave. Yeah.
yeah.
So, so yeah, we actually the neighbor helped us patch that, fill that gap in. I had gone to the store. Oh my God! When Home Depot opened down our street, there was a long line to get in, and they're only
Oh, it
letting
was
a couple
unreal.
people in at a
Yep.
time. And by the time I got in, it's like, boy, this store is empty. They could have let a little bit more people in, but they were probably just trying to control the panic of people running to the shelves to grab stuff. But I was just buying tape, roofing tape,
Yeah, roofing tape,
tape I
sheet
never
metal
even seen
flashing,
before
roofing
in my
flashing.
life, and reading the packaging is like, this says it's waterproof. All right, and I was just, oh God, put this house back together.
And someone had to stay here to watch the other generator because we're using it with the solar panel. Remember, and it took all day to get that thing to power. And a full charge is 6 bars.
Okay.
There were a couple times it was only get to 5 bars, and that's it. And it'd be like all freaking day.
Yeah,
man.
we did start off with that
Yeah, we did.
battery generator that we showed you guys in one of our videos, and that tell you what, that was a lifesaver. Yep, the first night we needed it, you know what, we ran it down at like, was it like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning? It ran out of juice because we're running the fan and the TV and
Just get some
lights.
some sort of news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find out
And
maybe what's happening.
we ran the battery down early the first night, and so then the next day we had it out here charging up by the sun with the solar panel.
Thank God
And
the temperature
yeah,
was not
it
humid.
took 8 hours, 8 hours to, and at first it was okay because nothing was open. There was no gas. There was nowhere to go. None of the
There was
stores were
nothing,
open.
man.
No electric. Again, we went 10 days with no power, no electric. So we just sat here, and it takes all day to cook on a grill. I tell you what, it's a long time. It's hours and hours. What is that thing on the guitar?
Oh, what this is? This is the Roland GK. This is the GK3 pickup for the guitar synthesizer, and it works great on the acoustic. It takes the acoustic guitar to a totally new dimension. And when you don't want synth sounds, you just shut it off and just get your acoustic sound. So it really, and it's not what people say MIDI. It's not really MIDI. It's a 13-pin chord. So the chord's got 13 pins, and then you just plug it through, and you could mix a guitar with synth. I got one on this guitar and one on the BC Rich Warlock.
So then after that first night and day
Yeah.
with the solar power powering up the generator, the second night we were able to manage the battery a lot better, where we didn't watch TV. We're kind of trying to keep up with the outside world and what's going on, and so that's why we had a TV on too, running it off of that battery generator. And by the second night, it's like, man, we can't watch TV. It was like two or three nights that we didn't have TV on at all and had no clue what was going on in the outside world. And then that second day of charging up, it was either the second or the third day, it was a little cloudy.
Yeah.
And 8 hours, and that battery only charged up to 3 bars.
Yeah.
only half the battery because it was cloudy
Oh,
and that
man.
solar panel wasn't
God.
getting enough juice.
And now, little by little,
charge
the
it up
temperature,
100%.
the dew point was starting to build up.
Yeah.
Little by, so that's
Yeah.
what causes your humidity.
So
And
I
man,
got
down
up.
here with no AC.
I got up one morning and I'm like, I gotta go to Home Depot. You
Yeah.
know, people have donated to our PayPal account. We got some money in there. So I went over to Home Depot, stood in that dang line again. This time I had a big flatbed cart. Got in there. I'm like, I need a generator. I need a generator. I just told them, give me the cheapest one you have. I don't care what it is. Just give me the cheapest one.
It was the Generac
And-
6500.
And yeah, that was the cheapest and smallest one they had, the Generic 6500. Brought that home.
Wow.
Oh my God, we powered that baby up, and oh God, we had the TV going so that we could catch up on the news. We were running the fans. It was such a blessing, and I ran that thing till about 10, and then we used the generator to charge up the battery,
Battery generator.
on the battery generator.
Yeah.
It only took 3 hours.
Yep.
3 hours to charge up that battery powered generator
Listen,
off
guys.
of the gas powered generator.
The solar power's
So-
okay when you have it.
Solar's okay, but
Not like
gas
gas.
is king, baby.
There's no comparison.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
and
can
then
tell you
speaking
from
of anything
experience.
electric, right? So they were saying on the news, hey, everyone with these electric cars, well, you got to pull them away from your house because now they were catching fire and they were catching the houses on fire.
So
I was like, oh.
yeah, once we got the gas generator, that was a life changed. Life changed tremendously.
We got a
with the
little
gas.
modern. We got
We
into
ran a cord through the
the
kitchen
first
window.
part
We
of the
popped the
19th
screen
century.
off, ran it through the house. We
Or
put tape
21st
along
century.
the edge where the window was cracked open from
Yep.
the power cord, inside, outside, sealed it up. We had lights going. We had the fan going all day because the cats were in there, and they were
Oh,
they were
man.
just laying all day. They're just laying like this. It's like, oh, the poor babies are so hot. They got their fur coats on, and we can't run the power. We can't run the fans off of the battery generator because it's out here in the sun getting charged up. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
with that
was-
gas generator, oh my God, we had the
Helped
fans going
big
all
time.
2 fans at both ends of the house. So no matter where the cats were,
Yeah.
their fur is starting to get a little breeze going there, and they were starting to act better. They were getting comfortable, and we had the fan going all the time. And the TV, we could catch up on the news. We ran that generator till about 11 o'clock at night, and then when the news ended at 10, 11?
11:30.
11:30.
11:30.
When the news ended, then I shut off the generator and powered back onto the battery power. Then we switched over to that for the night, where we can run our fan and lights in the bathroom we had set up. We had extension cord running down the hallway, one going into the hallway bathroom, one
Yeah.
going into the back bathroom, so that we can get light. And it was
I'm going to tell you another thing, guys.
interesting, but we made it work. We
Made it
we
work.
did it. We survived.
And I had heard about this from a guy that's a family that's full-time RV, and I think that the local life, the girl that got the cancer. Anyways, what they would say is that it's not pleasant, but it works. When you're in situations you don't have running water, well, one thing you want to stock up that you can stock up is wipies, because you can kind of clean yourself off a little bit, make yourself at least help you feel a little bit, cleaner, and you will be cleaner, But I'm gonna tell you, man, it's if you ever wanted to test your strengths and survival, you go through something like this, and your whole perspective changes, even with the guitar, because now more than ever, I'm so glad that we got the Boss GT1, and any type of effect unit could run on batteries. The Tascams could run on batteries, AA batteries.
Worked all the
We have the Tascam DP008EX. It's an 8-track multi-track recorder. It only records 2 tracks simultaneously. But I didn't do this because we were just so overwhelmed with everything we had going on. But if I wanted to do any recording, I also have a drum machine, a DR670, run on 8 AA battery or 4 AA batteries. 2 of the Roland powered PA speakers, they run on AA batteries. The Boss GT1 AA batteries. Any effect unit or any type of recording device that could run on batteries, regular AA batteries, to me, especially after going through that, I would take that over any top brand or what they would consider top high-end effect units, this, that, because when you need to survive, you can still record. When you're in survival mode and you got time and you want to record, at least you could still do that. You can't.
So one of the good reasons that we were thankful that we were watching, we did get the TV connected up,
Yeah.
is the news was letting us know that actually across the street from us is a rec center. The National Guard
was over
National
there.
Guard was there giving out the ready-to-eat meals, and we're like, oh my God. It was that morning. I
Yeah, we
got
went
up.
over there
I
with
think
the
I
wi-
woke
with
up
the
at
wagon.
about 5 or 6 o'clock that morning. I turned the news on, and that's when it was announced that morning that the National Guard's here with food, and so got Dave up, and they opened at 8 o'clock. I think it was like 7:30. We grabbed our wagon, and because we're not going to use our gas, it's like it's just across the street. We can walk. So we went up there with our wagon. We were the only one. We were the only ones on foot. Everybody else is in their car, and the military's laughing at
They
us.
were
They're
laughing,
like, "Oh."
right? They gotta kick out of
They're like,
that
look
one.
at you. I've never seen somebody come up here with a wagon before. So,
And it was not a covered wagon either.
They gave us, what was it, 2 cases of water,
Yeah.
a box of food,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we brought that home. And I tell you what, man, those ready-to-eat meals, they're all not the same. They're not
No,
the
they're all
same.
the same.
The
they were good.
5-minute chef, the chef 5-minute ready-to-eat meals, that's like regular home cooking food there.
Yeah.
That was great. And then when we got the gas generator, we could run our microwave. So in the morning, we were running the microwave so that we could heat up these ready-to-eat meals. And
Yeah.
ready-to-eat meals are pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
We-
You know, and it's,
we actually survived off of that. That was, well, we would have not known about that if we didn't get our TV service up. And again, it's just the antenna. There's no cable down here.
no, we don't get the
there's-
cable. We don't watch TV.
I mean, it's and even right now, I'm still hearing people can't get their Comcast turned on and whatever. And we actually loaned out one of our antennas. I don't even know if we're going to get that back because I don't even know who borrowed it from us.
So a guy named
It was
Ron and
just-
his wife.
It was just reached out
yeah.
on. We've got
No
a
kidding.
Buccaneer.
They needed it
chicken
too, you
alligator
know.
Used to be my favorite entree. So, you can see the neighbors came home. There's
Yeah.
their lights on in the driveway. So,
Now,
yeah, after 10 days of no power, wow, it was such a
something,
blessing.
yeah.
Oh, and then, oh God, we were on the roof. Oh, check this out. Check this out. We are patching our roof, and my phone rings. I've not had cell phone service
She got
since
it,
the
right.
hurricane. We're on the roof, and my phone's ringing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting a phone call, and it's my boss from Camping World asking, are you coming in? Am I coming in? I'm on my roof right now. We
They
gotta
will
patch up
understand
the
it.
roof.
Yeah,
And
they
she
understand.
was like, that's fine. I just want to make sure you're okay, you're alive, how is everything,
Yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that was a joke for a little bit, was that, yeah, I can get phone service on the roof, not down here.
No.
In
But-
the lanai or the driveway or in the house. No, there's no phone service at all, but climb up on the roof and there's phone
but
service.
she got it and I didn't. See, that was a weird thing. The only time I got phone
Odd.
service was when we were in Estero, when we went to Lowe's.
Oh, and then yeah, we got
And
to
then
the
also,
point where we
Bonita
had
Springs, when we were able to do the laundry mat.
to get our laundry
Oh
done.
my God.
We got to a point where we just didn't have any clean clothes left.
I'm going to give you guys another
So
strong
we
words
packed
of
up the
wisdom
car,
here.
and it felt, there were days where it felt like we were living a live episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'd have an agenda. We've got to try to
Supply
accomplish
run.
this today. Yeah, it's like a supply run. We need this for the roof, this, supplies. And it's like, are we going to find it today? We had to drive 30 miles south to North Naples to find any gasoline,
Mhm.
to find any supplies for the
Yep.
roof. Oh, it was burn a gallon of gas down and then burn another gallon of gas to come back home. It was crazy.
And we were lucky 75 was as open as it was. You know.
Yeah, the
and
highway
then you saw
was
the
no
military
problem
trucks.
going south.
You know, going back and forth in the
No,
helicopters.
Naples did pretty well
They did
from
pretty
the
well.
hurricane.
But
They
you
were
saw-
open. If people were acting all normal, like nothing
Oh yeah,
happened,
yeah. There's some
or
parts that didn't get in here.
kids are skipping in the parking lot
yeah.
at Lowe's. They have
And then
no idea what we're going through.
But yeah.
Just 30 miles north of them, no power. It's
a couple of things I
an
wanted.
episode of The Walking
Oh
Dead.
yeah, it was just like it, man.
was
It was unreal.
unbelievable.
That's why this is gonna sound crazy, okay? But just bear in mind, if you're gonna spend money on extra clothes, buy freaking underwear, man. Stock up because you ain't gonna be able to clean. You gonna. I mean, it sounds crazy, but trust me, you're gonna feel much better. And those little star mints, they when they reach a certain elevation, they kind of explode. And that's what I told them.
Okay, we're at an hour and 1 minute, and we try to keep it at an hour.
We'll just go just a little bit further because there's a few other things we need to really talk about real quick. Those things that kind of explode because of the elevation, so the packaging gets all with those ready meals. Okay, so remember we want to talk real quick about the situation with the jobs. Did you want to mention anything with that?
No, because I can't remember what it is
Oh,
right now.
I do remember
so
about.
we'll save that for another video.
Okay,
Because this one was to focus on why people stay for hurricanes.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
We can
and
focus
we'll,
on that another time.
yeah, we just don't want to, we know that
Yeah.
you guys want to jump on other people's channels, and we love that about all of you guys, is
Yeah.
sharing your time amongst as many people as you can. So and that's why we love you guys so much for that.
Absolutely.
And we are so grateful and thankful that you've shared your time with us as well. And so, all right, guys, if you don't have any questions about, why people stay for hurricanes, then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And we'll be going live tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get that. Well, we should get that internet connection because we did go live down Mariatown when we were recording the boats.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, we'll be going live tomorrow, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
We will be
Eastern
editing
Standard
the
Time.
videos that I took of
And
downtown
I'd
Fort
also-
Myers with all the boats, and you'll see the boat that's impaled.
Yeah, we'll be doing
Yeah.
some in the Heart Tanya Doe Heart. Yeah, thank you, Tanya.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
guys.
all right, guys. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, logging on. We love you. I'll let Dave do the ending, the closing.
Yeah,
Go
thank you
ahead,
so
Dave.
much.
Take
I
it
really
away.
appreciate it. Until tomorrow, you stay safe, strong, and true. Rock on, and God bless you. We love you guys. Take care. Thank you.
Good night.